Alright, my alarm went off and canceled my recording again. So anyways, yeah, my alarm goes off every 15 minutes so that it makes sure I'm awake. Starts at 6 a.m. unless I tell it to start sooner. Sometimes I get up at 5. Sometimes I get up before my alarm does. But anyways, Paul's trying to get in. The Nubians won't let him in. Come on, Paul. He's like, I can't. These women are in my way. Jump over them. Come on, Paul. Paul. Come on. Meh. There's some more. I gave him 2 scoops this morning. There you go. These other ones see her over here eating. They'll be like, oh, there's food over there too. And then Paul will be able to get in. I'm trying to fatten them up a little bit because I guess my lawyer took good care of them, or decent care of them, but they were in a really small pen. Not much bigger than this corral. Well, probably 3 times the size of this corral. There we go. Now Paul can get some. And I don't know if they were giving them grain, but they were giving them hay for sure. And I don't know. I think they were losing weight. You know, compared to Paul, they're skinny. Although they're getting fatter. She was a lot more sunken in than she is now. It's her too. So another week or 2, they'll be fattened back up. He's like, get out of the way. I want some too. He doesn't like the grain, I guess, as much. I did learn something yesterday, though. You can't give billies too much corn. Otherwise, it messes up their urinary tract. Judas never told me that. He used to give them corn all the time. So that might be another reason why all of his billies died. And all he had left was females. And I had to go buy more billies. And then the first time I bought some billies, they died. So, well, actually all my billies died eventually, but my second batch lasted a lot longer because I was taking care of them more. But I was gone for a week and they ended up getting pink eye, and he never took care of them. He never looked in on them. And I came home and they were dead. I was so pissed. That was at the beginning of this year. And that was the beginning of the end. I wouldn't say the beginning of the end. That was pretty much the thrust of the end of our so-called relationship. Really started going, actually started going downhill in 2017. But I didn't know it yet. Really started going downhill in 2019. That's when I started knowing it. But I hung in there thinking that, things would get better, and they never did. So now it's 2022. And basically the shit pretty much hit the fan at the beginning of this year. And I was done. I was done. So Yeah, I just found out recently that he basically pretty much just quit on me in 2017 and didn't really want to be here, which I kind of had the feeling, but I wasn't sure. And I got confirmation from Bill basically that that was the case. He's been trying to get over to Bill and Shirley since 2017. He lied to Bill and Shirley saying that he needed a place to stay. And he conned them into letting him stay in their greenhouse. And then he lied to everyone else saying that Bill and Shirley needed him to stay in the greenhouse so that he can take care of the greenhouse for them, so that Shirley and Lola didn't have to worry about going to the greenhouse in the winter to try to maintain it. So he tried to make it out to where they needed him. They asked him to do it for them when really it was the other way around. And then it took him 2 years to get him out of the greenhouse. He was only supposed to be there for the winter. You know, he told them he needed shelter for the winter. And he never left. That was fall of 2017. It wasn't until like spring of 19, so it was a year and a half. They finally forced him to move back over here, or at least move out. And like I said, I didn't realize what was going on. So he came back over here in 2019, but it still took him 6 months to get him to get all of his stuff out of their greenhouse. He took over the greenhouse, had all of his trash in their greenhouse, and he didn't clean it out, wouldn't clean it out. Took him 6 months to get him to clean it out. And I think what triggered him actually getting his stuff out was Jerry Diamond was going through his things. And he's like, oh, I got to get my stuff out of here before Jerry steals it. And that is what initiated him actually getting his things out of their greenhouse. So, believe it or not, Jerry Diamond was a blessing in that respect. But anyway, so then he came over here, but then Sarah came into the picture, and then Sarah created problems, and the two of them teamed up against me. Yeah. And then but then she left, and then he kind of went back to normal. You know, normal as in lazy, but also, oh, hang on, let me get that collar off. There you go. Now you got it. Take the little collar off of her. The big goat, she's got a little collar on her too. But anyhow, I'll get that whenever I trim her hooves. I'll probably trim their hooves next weekend. Now that I got them programmed to this corral a little bit, get them in there and trim their hooves. I'll give them extra feed that weekend too. As a bonus. So all this old cattle feed, I'm gonna have to start turning into fertilizer, because I don't think it's much good anymore. Well, I think this winter is the last winter it'll be any good. After this winter, I'm gonna have to start turning it into compost. And looking at maybe getting my own truckload, which will cost me a fortune, a small fortune. But anyway. I'm not going to hurt you. But anyways. But then Sherry came into town and he basically turned her against me. And the two of them have been basically collaborating evil. I don't think you're a purebred Nubian. What have you got in you besides Nubian? So the Nubians' ears are more floppy. These two youngins, their ears aren't as floppy. They might have Nigerian in them. Because that one looks a little bit Nigerian. This one kind of does too. I just found out too that they're making what they call miniature Nubians. And they're crossing Nubians with Nigerians to make a better milk goat, maybe a better meat milk goat. So that's another idea. I'm thinking I'm just gonna go with, I call it the Saanen, but I guess the first N is silent. I found that out last night too. It's not a Saanen, it's a Sayin. So you don't pronounce the first N. Sayin. I also found out yesterday that I don't got to keep the goats locked up for very long. So they're like cats, basically. You keep them locked up for a couple weeks, and then you can turn them loose. So what I'll do is I'll keep them in that yard for now. Then I'll rotate them to this yard at the end of the month. After that, when I rotate them back to the first yard, I'll start letting them out when I'm home. And then I'll put them back up in the evening. By then, I'll probably be working on their goat house again. I need to get some long pallets still. It's like a double pallet, so by the middle of November, they'll be out foraging on their own. Once I get them acclimated to the property and they know where home is, I'll start letting them out to forage. So, like I said, next year I'm going to do Saiyans, maybe.